Hi folks, John with the Wingman 115 channel. Thank you so much for checking in today. Today we're going to be showcasing a backpack for you, and it is the VANQUEST MARKHOR 45. Now, we're going to be doing a little bit different type of review today. What I wanted to do was seek out the most qualified person to be able to talk about the specs and the philosophy of use of this backpack. So, earlier this year, I had a chance to go to SHOT Show, and I sat down with Michael from VANQUEST. He is the lead designer of the MARKHOR 45 and a lot of their backpacks that VANQUEST produces. So I thought he is the best source to be able to talk about the philosophy of use and the specs of this backpack. So what we're gonna do is cut away. We're gonna go to that interview that I did with Michael. He's gonna break down the backpack, then we're gonna come back with some final thoughts, and then we're gonna talk about if this backpack is right for you. So, come along folks. We're out in the backwoods playground. It don't get any better than this. The video starts now.
Hi, I'm Michael with VANQUEST Gear on the design team. Gonna go over our brand new bag. This is the MARKHOR 45. So a 45-liter bag with a removable internal frame. So this is a polycarbonate frame. You can see the profile there. At 45 liters, it is 6 pounds empty with all included equipment. It is really ranged for the target weight of 38 pounds. So, you know, you can comfortably carry 38 pounds up to about there. Now, you can go beyond that, but that entirely depends on you properly adjusting the suspension system to you and properly, you know, getting the load managed the right way. So you have a 5-position shoulder harness, adjustable for torso height, nice breatheway here, airway, with a pretty good lumbar pad in combination with a very stiff load-bearing waist belt that has a pull forward on it. So, you know, you want that ideal 80% of the weight, 20% on your shoulders setup. We have a couple handles here, help you manage and move the bag. And this is something new for most of the bags, but we can see on the bottom here, this is 1000 denier Cordura nylon, and this is 1000 denier Cordura nylon. So the very bottom panel is 1000D. The rest of the bag is 500D. So that gives you the great balance of, you know, the most durable and most high wear section having the 1000 denier, but the weight saving without really sacrificing, you know, real durability of the 500. So real quick there, on the side we have one compression strap, 2 compression straps. It's actually behind the water bottle pocket. Dedicated 1-liter water bottle pockets right there with laser cut Hypalon MOLLE. Fairly low profile, very durable. I'm gonna hang this back up. It's easier to show some of these features. On the front, this panel here, this is the beavertail panel. So this is a removable, reversible panel. On the front side, this is the sport side, so you have the shock cord field with the new duck foot. This will help you stop any gear that you slide in there. And since it's Hypalon rubber, it's pretty grippy. This is included hardware for the MARKHOR. It'll actually be color matched. These are elastolocks, elasto gear locks. They cam open like that, and you actually push with your thumb and hold that plate on the other side, and they cam back on. Well, they would if I wasn't holding it weird. There you go. And this can go on all the 1-inch webbing. So there's 3 spots on this bag you can use it. So that's the front of the bag, the front of the beaver tail there, and it has a captive G-hook. So if you pop these guys, the side SRBs, you can still access the main part of the bag, and the panel's not going to fall away. So if you drop the panel from the G-hook, you can see the second side. The other side of this panel is laser cut MOLLE Cordura MOLLE-Air. So this, in combination with a map pocket, pretty generous sized, all the way down. I think it'll definitely fit standard documents like a piece of paper, stuff like that. This can be completely removed to save half a pound of weight. It can be used to obviously manage any gear you have, make a little like papoose seat almost, where you get this tied in at the bottom and have this out there so you can have a nice cradle. it can do a lot. But one of the cooler things that it can do is when you fold these ears in to each other, use those tabs and G-hook it all together, you get your stock pocket for rifle support, bow support. Now that's the beaver tail and the beaver dam system, durable arms management, corny name, but we had to do it, is the stock pocket in combination with two 1-inch retention straps that are included in your vertical 7 positions. So you have 7 vertical positions to put these guys. Great for a bow, great for a gun. And you notice on these retention straps that are included, we use the contrasting orange. So where you want to release it right there, boom. It's just a little bit faster, you know.
For those high stress moments.
Yeah, it makes sense. The other way you can do it too, you can actually do this guy too. So if I'm going to take this out of here, if you want to cover the optic, if you want to cover more of your action, you can still just do this. You have better coverage. Now, I'll show you real quick because a couple people have asked. I'll put this guy on for you, and you can see how it's going to wear. And people think maybe the butt is too low, the stock is too low. Well, the thing is, none of the gun is going to be sticking over your head getting caught on brush. Now, I mean, it's not like it's going to be in the way. Maybe, I think if you come way down here, yeah, you'd have to be leaning back at that point. It's not something that's in the way, yeah. Right, so that's the thing. Now, this is a really versatile bag and system, and it's up to you. I mean, if you want a search and rescue pack, 45 liters with the ability to carry a lot more than that target 38 weight pounds, great. Scout hunting, day hunts, stuff like that. If you just want a very durable long-term backpack, we got you covered. Internally, we'll cover this real quick. So, full panel open, a lot easier, zippered mesh pockets, zippered pass-through to the outside if you need it. So you want to grab a piece of gear, and you don't have to open the main compartment, just right through there. We have your laser cut MOLLE-Air panel for, you know, MOLLE or Velcro attachment with some compression here on the side that happens to hold like an AR upper with a slimmer profile rail, and you can have your lower here. 3-liter hydration, 15-inch laptop, medium-sized SAPI plate. This is the pocket for the frame, and the frame's not sharp, but it is moving a little bit. And when that happens, it's possible that it could go through this ripstop nylon eventually. So we put Cordura up there and at the bottom. So the top and bottom of this guy are Cordura wrap, so it'll never ever wear out.
Now for some final thoughts on the MARKHOR-45 from VANQUEST. First off, we need to talk about the fit. Because if something doesn't fit you, you're not going to have a pleasurable experience. And if you don't have a pleasurable experience, you're probably not going to use the gear again. So, with that being said, I've been using this backpack off and on for about 6 months. I've been hiking canyons, local trails, out here in the mountains, because I wanted to be able to give you folks out there information from practical use. And I'm a stickler on fit on a backpack. If it rides hard up here in my shoulder area, then I start getting tension headaches, and that's just not a fun experience for anyone out here. So with that said, the ability of this backpack for the shoulder harness to adjust up and down to fit your needs is pretty outstanding. It only took me probably 20-30 minutes to dial it in proper. And I must say, when you get gear like this, take the time at home with weight in the backpack to dial in the system. That way, as soon as you hit the trail, you're ready to go. With that said, took 30 minutes-ish, got the harness dialed in to where I wanted, then put some weight in there, threw the backpack on, and you always want the hip belt to ride above your hips. That's going to be the most load bearing, is right there. What I like about this system is the hip belt has just enough rigidness in it to not be flimsy and flopping around. The backpack feels really secure. when I have the hip belt attached and cinched down really good, not too tight where you can't breathe, but nice snug fit. Now, shoulder harness. I like the fact that the shoulder harnesses are padded in all the right places. They did a really good job cutting out the contour of these shoulder harnesses where they don't cut into my neck or they don't slide up underneath my armpits and generate a lot of hot spots. That makes for a very uncomfortable situation. And I always cinch down the sternum strap. Makes it really nice, secure. Backpack fits on there really good. Now, a nice feature on here, the load lifters. You want to cinch these down after you have your backpack on, everything's dialed in. What that's going to do is that's going to take the weight off your shoulders. And as you can see right here, I can slip fingers right in there, no problem. Let me tell you, when you're on a multi-day backpacking trip, that is huge. When you're in the mountains, you have 30, 40 pounds on you, carrying up over a mountain. That plays big time when you're hiking all day long. And in the past 6 months of testing this gear, the harness fits really well. The pack is secure, not a lot of stuff jiggling around. Makes it really nice. So I'm able to maneuver around if I have to climb something or if I have to go down a steep incline. The backpack's really secure. I found the center of gravity to work really well on this pack. Now, I have just a little bit over 30 pounds in this pack. And there's a lot of times I've tested packs in the past where I've gone backpacking, whether it be in the Sierras or just a few miles away on the Pacific Crest Trail. And it always feels like the backpack's pulling me backwards or I'm ready to fall forward or side to side. This backpack, the center of gravity, and some of it has to do with how you pack your backpack, where you want to put the heavier stuff at the bottom and your lighter stuff at the top. That way your center of gravity is more around your torso. But I'm finding that this backpack is fitting very well. I'm able to move around, I can grab stuff. And when you're out on the trail, especially out here on some of these trails out here, there's drop-offs 200-300 feet. You want to be secure when you're grabbing onto something, moving around, that the load's not going to shift or you're going to get off balance. This pack has been doing a phenomenal job at doing that. Now, let's talk about materials. Materials on this backpack. VanQuest always puts in top-notch premium material into the build of anything that they do. And the MARKHOR-45 is no exception. They're using 500 denier on the sides and the bulk of this backpack. And then on the bottom, as Michael talked about, 1000 denier on the bottom for more of that abrasion resistance, more durability, get a longer life out of this backpack. Attachment points. You can see attachment points on the side. Now, practical use out here in the field. I have a first aid kit attached to the side. I'm a big proponent of doing that because when an emergency happens, you need to get your gear now. You don't need to be busting open your backpack and playing Where's Waldo trying to find your first aid kit or any other piece of kit that you're going to need on the quick. I like the fact that I'm able to attach my first aid kit. It's right there because if something's going to happen out there, I'm sorry, whether I get cut, punctured, it's going to happen to this guy. It just always does. It's just Murphy's Law. But with that said, attachment points on here I found work really well. Now on the side, as you can see, there's a spot for bottles on each side. If you don't like using a bladder, but if you do like using a bladder, as Michael showed, there's a spot where you can put up to 100-ounce hydration bladder in there. I'm using a 70-ounce right now. It's working really well. Next, let's talk about the beavertail system on this backpack. Give you a quick look here. As Mike talked about in the shakedown of this backpack, you can add a rifle, you can add a bow, you can add your favorite fishing equipment. If you're an avid backpacker, you could put in your favorite camp chair. So when you get to your primitive campsite, you have a little bit of creature comfort. And sometimes that makes the difference of having an okay experience or a really rockin' jammin' experience. So the beaver tail system on here holds the stuff secure, it's out of the way, doesn't hit the back of your legs, it's unobtrusive. The system just plain works, and it holds your gear nice and secure. That's all I'm gonna say about that. It's an awesome system. Now below that, they have that compartment, and I find that it's really nice if you're backpacking to put maybe your little backpacker stove and fuel canister in there. Maybe your food for the day that you're gonna be using in that small compartment, and a light windbreaker jacket or a rain poncho. And the reason being is you just want quick access. Sometimes we break camp in the morning, we get out on the trail for about a half hour, 40 minutes before we eat breakfast. There's also times where I backpacked in the Sierras and we would eat our dinner at lunchtime. That way we're not cooking in camp and we're not attracting bears, critters and such into your camp. Makes sometimes for a scary situation. So just one way to gain quick access to some of that gear that you're gonna be using a lot. Now, lashing points on the bottom, whether you have a tent or a tarp shelter or a bivy sack, whatever, there's more than enough attachment points underneath there to be able to secure whatever sort of shelter or item that you want to bring to the backcountry or on your adventure. It's going to be secure and it's going to be out of the way. On the top has 2 access points, has one small zippered pocket on top, and right below that it has a zipper pocket that's a little bit larger, and on the inside it has that pass-through, so you're able to grab gear out of there. Maybe you need a heavier jacket, maybe you need a different hat or sunglasses. Just fill in the blank on that item. Now you have quick access. You don't have to tear your whole backpack open, start digging and fishing things out. Attachment points on the inside, as Michael showed. There's a lot of different items that you can attach inside, ways to secure it, and loading your backpack is just a personal endeavor. The only thing that I talk about is putting the heavy items at the bottom and the lighter items at the top. That way your center of gravity is on point. So with everything said, I want to thank Michael from VanQuest for helping me out on this video. It's always good to hear from the designer, their thoughts on this and their philosophy of use. So thank you, Michael from VanQuest, for that. Also, I want to thank you, the viewer, for watching. I'll leave links in the video description below if you want to learn more about this item. Folks, this is John with the Wingman 115 channel. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care, folks.